Welcome back. We're now going to move on to our next segment, Take Your Pick. And for our first game, probably two of the most surprising teams in the NFL, the Vikings and the Cardinals. Mike?
Yeah, this is definitely two of the more surprising teams in the NFL. This is a game I think can go either way, but I feel like if I had to choose one, I would probably go with the Minnesota Vikings, just because Arizona. I mean, they're running backs like they're Beanie Wells, and I don't remember who the other guy was, but they're both hurt right now, so they're lacking a running game. I mean, Kevin Cobb's still the quarterback. I know he's done a good job for them so far, but let's face it, he's still Kevin Cobb. I mean, he's not perfect. I think Christian Ponder, he's done a great job for the Vikings this year, and they still have Adrian Peterson, Jared Allen on that defensive line. I think they're going to pull out a close one here.
I'm going to have to agree with you here. I think the Cardinals are primed for a little bit of a letdown these next few weeks. Arizona came off to such a hot start, and their defense looks great. But like you said, no running game right now, and that's really huge. I could see if they had Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady running their offense, but they have Kevin Cobb, and you're going to be shouldering a lot of the weight on him right now, and that's very
Absolutely.
The way Percy Harvin's been playing for Minnesota, he's a game changer right now. On to our next matchup, you have the Baltimore Ravens against the Houston Texans.
I'm going to go with the Houston Texans right now. They're just the best team in the NFL right now on all three sides of the ball, offense, defense, and special teams. I mean, Matt Schaub, I mean, he's probably, in my opinion, one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. Like, I mean, everyone talks about Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Peyton Manning. Matt Schaub is right up there with them. I mean, they got that running game in Arian Foster. I mean, he torched the Jets on Monday night. I mean, they're one of the, I guess they're one of the better defenses in the NFL. I mean, they struggle this year, but they still got some big names on that defense. It's going to be another close one. I don't think Baltimore has enough defensively. I mean, Ray Lewis has kind of struggled this year so far, and offensively, I mean, I personally don't think they're not that good offensively. I still have questions about Joe Flacco at quarterback. But, yeah, I mean, I think it'll be close, but I'm going to have to go with the Texans.
You can make an argument that these are the two best running backs in the NFL, Ray Rice and
mention Ray
Foster.
Rice.
And I'm going to actually have to counter your argument here. I'm going to take the Ravens in this game. The Texans are flying high right now, but like every other team, you need to have a loss or two in the regular season. I can't see the Texans running the table this year, and I think this is a perfect time for the Ravens to upend them. The Ravens do look great this year. Their offense looks a lot better than it has in the past, and a main reason for that is Flacco may not be up to par with the elite quarterbacks in the league right now, but he is playing at a lot higher of a level than he has been in the past few years. The Ravens defense is still formidable, and as good as Arian Foster has been for Houston, I think the Ravens could bottle him up better than most teams in the NFL, so this is a good chance for the Texans to finally drop a game. On to our next game, you have the New York Jets and the New England Patriots.
This is going to be painful for me to say. I'm going with the Patriots. It's not going to be close either. I mean, the Jets are a mess right now. I mean, we don't know who their quarterback's going to be. Sanchez is struggling. Tebow's going to struggle if he goes in anyways. Exactly. If you combine both of them, they don't even come close to what Tom Brady is right now. The defense is a mess. They can't stop the run. The Patriots right now, like they proved against Denver, against Peyton Manning, that they are more than just a passing team. They can run the ball too, but yeah, I mean, mainly because the Jets are they're so bad right now. They're playing, like, awful football right now. I mean, I don't think it's going to be close. It's going to be the Patriots.
My interesting stat of the week, the NFL's leader for team in rushing touchdowns is actually the New England Patriots, believe it or not. The Patriots have scored 17 touchdowns this year, 10 of them on the ground. With Tom Brady at quarterback, who would ever expect that? And that's such a tribute to Bill Belichick and just how he mixes things up week in and week out. Stephen Ridley's been unbelievable for the Patriots this year. And when you look at the Jets, they're a mess. It would be completely unfair to put Tim Tebow. There's been rumors swirling around that Tebow could be the Jets' starting quarterback by the time this game happens. That would be unfair to him. He's not going to make that big of a difference, in my opinion. No. You may want to give him a chance down the road, but keep Sanchez in. At least I think he'll give him a better shot against New England. But the Patriots just look way too good right now, and the Jets look way too bad right now to compete in this game.
Yeah.
Our next matchup is between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Cincinnati Bengals. Who you got in this one?
I'm going with the Steelers because they have experience. I mean, the Bengals are a very young team right now, and they have all the tools to kind of take control of that AFC North and kind of make that jump over the Ravens and the Pittsburgh Steelers. But I think there's still just a little while to go. I mean, Andy Dalton's done a good job at quarterback for the Bengals, and they got the A.J. Green at wide receiver, too. I think he's going to be one of the best wide receivers in the NFL in the near future. But that's the key word, in the near future. Right now, I think when it comes to the AFC North, it's still Pittsburgh, it's still Baltimore. I mean, Ben Roethlisberger, in my opinion, he's one of the more elite quarterbacks in the NFL. I mean, Bengals will put up a fight, I think, but it's going to be the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I think the Bengals are a team that is okay. They haven't made that next step, like you were saying. Yeah. Although I do think the Steelers are on their way down, I think the Ravens are the class of the AFC North right now, but I still don't think the Bengals are up to the Steelers level yet. It's kind of like a four-tier AFC North. There's no meshing right now. It's Ravens, Steelers, Bengals, and then the Browns. But one thing that I think the Bengals actually declined from last year is at their running back position. Not a lot of people like Cedric Benson. I think he's a solid running back. They brought in BenJarvus Green-Ellis. I think he was a bit overrated. Coming out of New England, like I just said, their system is what makes their running backs. And I think that he was a little bit too hyped up coming into this year. They haven't gotten much out of the running game this year. A.J. Green, like you said, is unbelievable. But I still think that the Steelers, behind Ben Roethlisberger, who's off to one of his best starts of his career right now, is going to lead his team past the Bengals in this one. And our final matchup of the day is the Detroit Lions and Chicago Bears. Jay Cutler looks a little bit better lately. What do you think?
He has. I mean, that's why I'm going to go with the Bears. I mean, I have a lot of questions about Jay Cutler and like his maturity level. I mean, you just wonder if he's into games sometimes, but he is still a really good quarterback, and I just don't think the Lions are one of the more overrated teams in the NFL, in my opinion. I mean, Stafford has not really done that much. I mean, he's thrown for a lot of yards, but there's a lot of interceptions thrown in there too as well. Defensively, I mean, the Lions are good, but I think the Bears' defense is still really solid. I know they're more on a decline like Pittsburgh is, but I still think they're one of the better defenses in the NFL, and I think they're going to shut down the Lions.
Coming into this year, I actually agreed with you. I thought the Bears were on the decline on defense, but the last 3 weeks, they've put up 5 total touchdowns defensively.
I mean, Tony Romo threw 5 interceptions.
The Bears look a lot better on defense than I ever thought they'd be this year. Detroit is really struggling, and I think that's one of the biggest shockers this year. Not that I thought that they would improve, so to speak, but Matthew Stafford is turning the ball over way too much, like you mentioned, and turnovers are the name of the game in the NFL.
Yep.
We talked about it on last week's episode, and we're talking about it now again. You can't turn the ball over, and the Bears are one of the best teams at taking the ball away this year. The Lions are turning it over way too much, and I think that's going to be the deciding factor. I'll take the Bears as well. All right, well, we're out of time here on this show. That'll do it for this edition of Lions Lineup. We hope you've enjoyed the show. And if you'd like to become a part of Lions Lineup or work for LTV, email our account at ltv@tcnj.edu. For Mike Jozwiak and all of us here at LTV, I'm Joe Caputo. We'll see you next time.